Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is 7th September 2025. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. Even before that, please note we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. And all the training lessons are already available at our NeoStock YouTube channel. To access all the training lessons at our channel homepage, click on the tab Posts. Then you get access to this post. Some of you might be seeing Community tab. In that case, also click on the tab. You get access to the same post. And this post is having a YouTube playlist link that is having all the training lessons. You just click on the link. Now we are into supply demand zone price action course. Here you have all the training lessons are available. Excuse me. You just scroll down to the bottom of the page. Here starting from lesson 1.1, all the training lessons are placed in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one, but according to my training instructions. I provided all the training instructions at our Telegram channel. I provided the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. Please join at our Telegram channel. Once you join in the old messages or even in the pinned messages, you can find all the training instructions. If you can learn the course according to those training instructions, then it will be helpful to you to become a very good independent trader. Please make use of this opportunity. Okay, now I am going to generate different supply demand zone reports with the help of NeoStock Software's supply demand zone top-down analysis strategy builder. First, I am going to find the stocks near daily and 75 minutes demand and supply zones, so that from those reports I can identify high priority, high liquidity zones. And those high priority, high liquidity zones can be used for high liquidity zone strategy that I explained in lesson 21.3.1 video. And also few instructions. Those who do not understand any structure of the reports, you can learn from lesson 21.1 video. And also I am giving you very few seconds time while generating the reports to watch the reports. So many times you have to pause the video, study the report, and then you have to proceed to the next reports. So remember these points. Okay, for daily time frame, stocks near to the daily demand zone, we got 6 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity daily demand zones from this list. HFCL is having high priority, high liquidity demand zone. That's it. So we identified only one high liquidity demand zone from this list for our HLQ zone strategy. Okay, next for daily time frame, stocks near to the daily supply zone, we got 12 stocks. Let us identify daily high liquidity supply zones from this list. Godrej Consumer Properties is having a pierced zone, so you can't use it for HLQ zone strategy. But if anybody is interested, you can go for pierced zone strategies that you learned in lesson 28. Okay, here we are having a MFSL is having a high priority, high liquidity daily supply zone. That's it. We got only one daily high liquidity supply zone from this list. Okay, next time frame is 75 minutes. For 75 minutes time frame, stocks near to the 75 minutes demand zone, we got 14 stocks. Let us identify high priority 75 minutes demand zones from this list. Bajaj Auto is having a 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. That's it. We got only one high priority, high liquidity 75 minutes demand zone from this list. Okay, next For 75 minutes time frame, stocks near to the 75 minute supply zone, we got 9 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity 75 minute supply zones from this list. HDFC AMC is having a excuse me 75 minutes high liquidity supply zone, and interestingly it is also having 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. That means either side you may get a trade opportunities if a stock is having both high liquidity demand and supply zones. But you should not forget this is stocks near 75 minutes supply zone. And next one is Inox Wind is having a 75 minutes high liquidity supply zone. That's it. So we got two 75 minutes high liquidity supply zones from this list. So this is about high liquidity zone identification from daily and 75 minutes stocks near demand and supply zones. Okay, next I will generate NIFTY and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain reports. Starting with NIFTY. Generating monthly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. In any supply demand zone chain report, always look into the zone column to find the high liquidity zones. Look into the pierced column to find the pierced zones, and also look into the LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. You already learned one time frame higher is ITF and one more time frame higher is HTF. So apply the same rules for all the supply demand zone chain reports. And also don't forget to pause the video because I am giving you very few seconds time to watch the reports. Okay, next, generating weekly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, generating daily supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, generating 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, generating 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, generating 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. The nearest demand zone for the current closing price is serial number 18. I will adjust in the middle of the page. Okay, next, generating 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Serial number 19 is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price. I will put it in the middle of the page. Okay, next, generating 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. All are supply zones. Scrolling the list down, and the nearest demand zone for the current closing price, serial number 33. I will adjust in the middle of the page. Okay. So this is about NIFTY supply demand zone chain generation. Next, I will generate BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. NIFTY Bank, that is nothing but BANKNIFTY, generating monthly supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, generating weekly supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, generating a daily supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. The nearest demand zone for the current closing price is serial number 26. I will put it in the middle of the page. Okay. So we have completed Bank Nifty supply demand zone report. Next, I will generate a bullish, bearish, sideways. That means sideways, bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly, daily and hourly income trades. For monthly income trade, sideways long trade setup, let us start with that. Entry time frame daily, entry zone, demand zone. Here bullish, bearish or sideways at entry time frame daily. I am selecting sideways long. Zone achievement should be violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score should be 11 for sideways. And pierced zones daily I am not filtering, because any pierced zones on daily time frame you can apply pierced zone strategies that you learned in lesson 28. Okay, we got 6 stocks and 1 pierced zone. You apply only pierced zone. Remaining 5 stocks are supporting sideways long trade setup for monthly income trade. And all the entry time frame zones are daily demand zones. Next, sideways short trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry zone is a daily supply zone, and here sideways short trade setup. Let's filter. No stocks are available. Next, bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame daily demand zone. Entry zone, daily demand zone. And bullish or bearish, here I am selecting bullish. And the minimum odd enhancer score for bullish or bearish should be 12. So I am selecting 12. Let's filter. We got 18 stocks. So 18 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Out of 18, you should eliminate pierced zones. We got 4 stocks. They should be used only for pierced zone strategies. That means remaining 14 stocks supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade, and entry time frame zones are daily demand zones. So total we got 18 daily demand zones. That includes 4 pierced zones. Okay, let us filter high probability trade setup zones from this list based on different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies that we learned in lesson 27. Okay, first strategy is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence, followed by ITF EMA confluence. So let's do that. So I'm adding one more filter, demand zone confluence. Here I am selecting daily demand zone and weekly demand zone confluence. Applying the filter on the 18 stocks. we got 17 stocks. All 17 daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zone. And also weekly trend is uptrend. Weekly is ITF trend, uptrend in all the stocks. So we can further filter this list based on weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. In that case, the overlapped daily demand zone inside weekly demand zone might be having even more high probability to get success. Let's verify. I'm going back, adding EMA filter on weekly time frame by selecting weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence, because weekly trend in all the stocks are uptrend. Let's filter. We got 9 stocks. So these 9 demand zones might be having more high probability to get success. And a couple of zones are pierced zones. You have to eliminate them from bullish trade setup. They should be used only for pierced zone strategies. And remaining 7 stocks might be having more high probability to get success, provide less than 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, there are higher chances of zone violation. That is very, very important point. Many people ignore this point. Less than 20 checklist item is very important. Similarly, for sideways trade setup, lesson 30.3 video is very important. That is the checklist item. I forgot to tell earlier. Okay. Next strategy is LTF, ITF and even HTF demand zone confluence supported stocks. That is daily, weekly and monthly demand zone confluence supported stocks. I'm going back, removing the ITF EMA filter. Now in the demand zone confluence, I'm adding 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, daily and weekly. Next, daily and monthly, weekly and monthly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 4 stocks. In these 4 stocks, these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zone, both together again overlapped with monthly demand zone. But monthly trend is uptrend in only 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, let's verify. In any of the stocks, monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence. Monthly demand zone with monthly EMA. At the same time, trend on the monthly should not be sideways. It should be only uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. So one stock is filtered. That way, this daily demand zone might be having more high probability to get success, provide less than 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, there are higher chances of zone violation. So this is monthly income trade, bullish trade setup. Okay, next monthly income trade, bearish trade setup, entry time frame daily, entry zone, supply zone. Here bullish or bearish at daily, I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhance score 12. With these filters, we got 5 stocks supporting bearish trade setup for monthly income trade, and entry time frame zones are daily supply zones. So total we got 5 stocks. Out of these 5, how many are having more high probability to get success? How many daily supply zones? That we can filter based on different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies that we learned in lesson 27. First strategy is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is daily and weekly supply zone confluence. So I am enabling the filter. By applying the filter on the 5 stocks, we got 2 stocks. In these 2, these daily supply zones overlapped with weekly supply zone. And weekly trend is a downtrend in both the stocks. Let's verify. Any of the weekly supply zones are having a weekly EMA confluence. In those weekly supply zones, these daily supply zones are overlapped. So let's verify. EMA confluence at weekly time frame, because daily is overlapped with weekly supply zone. We are checking weekly supply zone having weekly EMA because weekly trend is a downtrend in both the stocks. So one stock is filtered. That way this weekly supply zone, this daily supply zone overlapped with weekly supply zone. That overlapped weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. So this daily supply zone might be having more high probability to get success. Provide lesson 20, checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, there are higher chances of zone violation. Okay, next we will look into LTF, ITF and even HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. Removing EMA filter, supply zone confluence. We have to set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. Something wrong. Yeah. Some mistake. Okay, I will repeat again. Daily supply zone and here daily bearish zone achievement. VWAZ at minimum odd enhancer score 12. And in the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First one is daily and weekly. Next daily and monthly, and weekly and monthly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 3 stocks. But earlier we got only 2 stocks, something wrong. Maybe I will generate bearish trade setup reports once again. Some mistake because here we got 3 stocks. But earlier only 2 stocks only for daily and weekly. So that is something wrong happened. I am regenerating, sorry for the mistake. Entry time frame daily, entry zone supply zone in bullish or bearish. At daily time frame I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score 12. So with these filters we got 5 stocks. Out of these 5, this report is perfect. Out of these 5, how many daily and weekly supply zone confluence is there, we need to identify. So adding one more filter, supply zone confluence. What is that supply zone? Daily supply zone and weekly supply zone confluence. I enabled the filter. We got all 5 stocks are filtered. Earlier some mistake I did, maybe look into the search strategy in that earlier generation, some mistake might be there. Maybe I might have selected demand zone confluence. Maybe whatever it is, here daily and weekly, all 5 stocks are enabled. In all the 5 stocks, the trend is downtrend. So let's further filter with weekly supply zone with weekly EMA confluence. That is a weekly supply zone with weekly EMA confluence. So by enabling the filter and the week, because weekly trend is down, we got 2 stocks we got. So both these are daily supply zones having more high probability to get success. Earlier this is not filtered because of the mistake we made. Okay, we have 2 stocks supporting bearish trade setup for monthly income trade, having the strategy daily and weekly supply zone confluence and weekly supply zone confluence with weekly EMA confluence. So these daily supply zones are having more high probability to get success. Provide lesson 20, checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, higher chances of zone violation. Okay, next let us look into LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. So I am going back, removing EMA filter because it is ITF specific. Now we are focusing on HTF. So first let us filter based on LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. That is a daily and weekly supply zone confluence already enabled. Next, daily and monthly supply zone confluence, weekly and monthly supply zone confluence. After enabling all the 3 filters, daily, weekly and monthly supply zone confluence, we got 3 stocks. In these three stocks, these daily supply zones are overlapped with weekly supply zone. Both together again overlapped with monthly supply zone. But monthly trend is sideways. Sideways trend, EMA Confluence does not give any advantage. So this is bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. So we have completed monthly income trade reports. Next, I will generate weekly income trade reports. Weekly income trade entry time frame is 75 minutes. And first I will generate sideways long trade setup. So entry time frame demand zone. And bullish or bearish or sideways trade setup at entry time frame 75 minutes. I am selecting sideways long. And zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score 11 for sideways. And third filter, this 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter, at entry time frame 75 minutes, I am entering the minimum value 0, maximum value 0. It indicates this 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So by applying all the filters, we got two stocks supporting sideways long trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones. You can plan trades only if less than 30.3 video checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, there are higher chances of zone violation. Okay, next sideways short trade setup. Changes are 75 minutes supply zone. And here sideways short, and we got one stock. This is the 75 minute supply zone, and this zone trade plan should be done only after verifying the checklist in lesson 30.3 video. Okay, next I will generate bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame zone is 75 minutes demand zone. Here bullish, and a minimum odd enhancer score is 12 for bullish or bearish. Let's filter. We got 14 stocks supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones. So total we got 14 stocks. Okay, excuse me. Out of these 14, there could be some high probability trade setup. 75 minutes demand zones might be available. We need to filter them based on different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies that you learned in lesson 27. So first one is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence, followed by ITF EMA confluence. So I'm going back, adding one more filter, demand zone confluence. Here I am selecting the filter 75 minutes and daily demand zone confluence. By enabling the filter and applying on the 14 stocks, we got 11 stocks. In all these 11 stocks, 75 minutes demand zone and daily demand zone are overlapped with each other. And daily trend, ITF trend is daily, trend is uptrend in all the stocks because 75 minutes overlapped with the daily and daily trend is uptrend. So we can further filter based on daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. So I'm going back, applying EMA filter on daily demand zone. So daily demand zone with daily EMA confluence. 5 stocks are filtered. So these 5 75 minutes demand zones might be having more high probability to get success, provided lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied. Lesson 20 checklist items are bullish and bearish trade setups. Lesson 30.3 video checklist items are for sideways long and sideways short trade setups. So you should remember these points. Okay, if they are less than 20 checklist items are satisfied, then only you should plan the trade. Otherwise, there are higher chances of this zone violation. Okay. Next filter is LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence and followed by HTF EMA confluence. So I am going back, removing ITF EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, 3 filters I have to set. First filter is already enabled, 75 and daily. Next 75 and weekly, daily and weekly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 5 stocks. In all these 5 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with daily demand zone, both together again overlapped with weekly demand zone. And weekly trend is uptrend in 3 stocks. In these 3, let's verify any weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. Weekly demand zone with weekly EMA confluence. At the same time, trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It should be uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. Let's filter. We got 2 stocks. So these 2 75 minutes demand zones might be having more high probability to get success, provided less than 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, there are higher chances of zone violation. So this is a bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, let us look into bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. So entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone, supply zone. Here bullish or bearish at 75 minutes. I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd and enhance score 12 and 75 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means pierced count is 0. Pierced count 0 means zone is not pierced. So total we got 12 stocks. These 12 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. And the entry time frame zones are 75 minute supply zone. So like that, total we got 12 75 minute supply zones. Out of these 12 75 minute supply zones, how many are having more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies that we learned in lesson 27. Okay, first filter is the LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. Let us apply on these 12 stocks. I am going back. I am adding one more filter in the supply zone confluence by selecting 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. And applying the filter on the 12 stocks, we got 9 stocks. In all the 9 stocks, 75 minute supply zone overlapped with daily supply zone. All these are all 75 minute supply zones. And these 75 minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zones. And those daily supply trend is downtrend, daily trend is. Because daily trend is downtrend, we can apply EMA confluence on the daily supply zone. So let's verify. EMA confluence on the daily supply zone. Because daily trend is downtrend and inside the daily zone, 75 minute supply zone is overlapped. Let's filter. We got 9 stocks. So these 9 75 minute supply zones might be having more high probability to get success. Provide less than 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, there are higher chances of zone violation. Okay, next, let us look into LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence and then followed by HTF EMA confluence. So I am going back, removing this EMA filter because it is ITF specific. Now we are focusing on HTF also. So in the supply zone Confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter 75 on daily supply zone Confluence is already enabled. Next 75 minutes and weekly, daily and weekly supply zone Confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 3 stocks. In all the 3 stocks, these 75-minute supply zone overlapped with daily supply zone, both together overlapped with weekly supply zone. In all the 3 75-minute supply zones. And also weekly trend is a downtrend in 2 stocks. Let's verify in these 2 stocks any weekly supply zone having weekly EMA Confluence. And trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. So both these stocks are filtered. That way, these 2 75-minute supply zones might be having more high probability to get success, provide less than 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, higher chances of zone violation. See, ONGC already gave 3 tests. It is already reported for a long period. ONGC, we've been monitoring. Already it gave 3 tests. And if less than 20 checklist items are satisfied, you can plan one more trade. Otherwise, you have to ignore the stock. Okay, this is a bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, I will generate daily income trade reports. Starting with daily income trade, sideways long trade setup. Entry time frame is 15 minutes for daily income trade. Sideways long trade setup, entry zone, demand zone. In bullish, bearish or sideways trade setup at entry time frame 15 minutes, I am selecting sideways long. Zone achievement should be violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score should be 11 for sideways. And also 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter, at 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means pierced count should be 0. Pierced count 0 means zone is not pierced. Which zone? 15 minutes demand zone, because we selected it. And the filter will be applied on the 15 minutes demand zone. We got 3 stocks supporting sideways long trade setup for daily income trade. And entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zones. All 3 are already gave us 1 test. Can we plan again? You can plan the trades only if lesson 30.3 video checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, there are higher chances of zone violation. Okay, next sideways short trade setup for daily income trade. Changes are 15 minute supply zone. And here sideways short. Let's filter. We got 4 stocks supporting sideways short trade setup for daily income trade. And entry time frame zones are 15 minute supply zones. See, a couple of zones already gave a test. But you should plan your trades only if lesson 30.3 checklist items are satisfied. Lesson 33 point video checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, there are higher chances of zone violation in those supply zones, 15 minute supply zones. Okay, this is about bearish trade setup for, sideways short trade setup for daily income trade. Next, we will generate bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zone. At 15 minutes, I am selecting bullish. And the minimum odd enhancer score for bullish or bearish should be 12. Let's filter. We got 10 stocks supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade. And entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zones. Total 10 stocks. Out of these 10, let us identify high probability trade setup, 15 minutes demand zones. That we will filter based on different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies that will land in lesson 27. First filter is the LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. So in the demand zone confluence, I am enabling the filter 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence. Applying on the 10 stocks, we got all 10 are filtered. That means in all these stocks, 15 minutes demand zone overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone in all the stocks. And also the 75 minutes trend is uptrend in all the stocks. We can further filter based on 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence. So EMA confluence at 75 minutes, checking 75 minutes demand zone with daily EMA confluence. One stock is filtered. So this 15 minutes demand zone might be having more high probability to get success, provide lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, higher chances of zone violation. Okay, next filter LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence followed by HTF EMA confluence. So I am going back, removing ITF EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we are setting. First filter is already enabled, 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone. Next 15 minutes and daily demand zone confluence, 75 minutes and daily demand zone confluence. By enabling all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. In both these stocks, these 75 minutes demand, these 15 minutes demand zones overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. Both together again overlapped with daily demand zone. And daily trend is uptrend. So let's further filter again with the daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. At the same time, trend on the daily should not be sideways. It should be uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. So Bajaj Finance is filtered. So this 15 minutes demand zone might be having more high probability to get success, provide lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, there are higher chances of zone violation. So this is a bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Bullish trade setup, not bearish. Bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, I will generate bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame 15 minutes. Entry zone supply zone. Bullish or bearish at 15 minutes. I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score should be 12. And also 15 minutes supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means zone should not be pierced. So we got 4 stocks supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade, and entry time frame zones are 15 minute supply zones. So total we got 4 stocks. Out of these 4 15 minute supply zones, how many are having more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies. That is, and then followed by, the first filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. LTF and ITF supply zone confluence, and then followed by ITF EMA confluence. So first filter is 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. I am enabling the filter, and 3 stocks are filtered. And in all the 3, these 15 minute supply zones overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. and 75 minutes trend is a downtrend in all the three stocks. Let's further filter based on EMA Confluence at 75 minutes supply zone. 75 minutes supply zone with daily EMA Confluence. We got one stock. So this 15-minute supply zone might be having more high probability to get success, provide less than 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, there are higher chances of zone violation. Okay, next LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. Removing ITF EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, three filters we have to set. First one is already enabled. Next 15 minutes and daily. 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. With all the three filters, we got two stocks. So these two 15-minute supply zones are overlapped with 75-minute supply zone. Both together again overlapped with daily supply zone. And daily trend is downtrend in only one stock. Let us verify if this daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence. Daily supply zone with daily EMA, and also trend on the daily should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. So no stocks are having high probability trade setups. So this is bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, let us look into hourly income trade reports. Entry time frame 5 minutes, entry zone, demand zone, bullish or bearish or sideways at 5 minutes. I am selecting sideways long. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score 11 for sideways. And 5 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, at 5 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means pierced count is 0. Pierced count 0 means zone is not pierced, which is on 5 minutes demand zone. Let's filter. We got one stock supporting sideways long trade setup for hourly income trade. Entry time frame 5 minutes demand zone. Next, sideways short trade setup. Changes are 5 minutes supply zone, and here sideways short. So we got four stocks for sideways short trade setup for hourly income trade. Entry time frame zones are 5 minutes supply zones. Okay. Next, bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. The changes are 5 minutes demand zone. Here bullish. Minimum odd enhancer score 12. Let's filter. We got 13 stocks supporting bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. Entry time frame zones are 5 minutes demand zones. So total we got 13 5 minutes demand zones. And let us identify high probability trade set of 5 minutes demand zones based on different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies that will land in lesson 27. Let us apply on these 13 stocks. So I am going back, adding one more filter in the demand zone confluence by setting 5 minutes and 15 minutes demand zone confluence. By enabling the filter, we got 10 stocks. In all the 10 stocks, these 5 minutes demand zones, all these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zone. And 15 minutes trend is uptrend in all the stocks. ITF trend is 15 minutes. So let's further filter based on EMA confluence on 15 minutes demand zone. 15 minutes demand zone with daily EMA confluence. We did not get any stocks, no high probability trade setup zones. Okay, fine. Next, let us look into LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence supported stocks. I removed ITF EMA filter. Demand zone confluence, 3 filters I am setting. First one is already enabled. Next 5 minutes and 75 minutes. 15 minutes and 75 minutes. Demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 5 stocks. In all the 5 stocks, 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zone. Both together again overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. And 75 minutes trend is uptrend in 3 stocks. Let's verify any EMA Confluence at 75 minutes demand zone. 75 minutes demand zone with daily EMA. At the same time, trend on the 75 minutes should not be sideways. It should be uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. No stocks. That means we don't have any high probability trade setup, daily demand zones for hourly income trade. Okay, next, bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. Entry time frame 15 minutes, entry zone, supply zone, bullish or bearish at 5 minutes. Sorry, I made a mistake. Hourly income trade entry time frame is 5 minutes. So for hourly income trade, sideways trade hourly income trade, bearish trade setup, 5 minutes supply zone. In bullish or bearish at 5 minutes, I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd and enhancer score should be 12. And also 5 minutes supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, at 5 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 8 stocks. All 8 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for hourly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 5 minute supply zones. So total we got 8 stocks. Out of these 8, let us identify high probability trade setup 5 minute supply zones. First filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 5 minutes and 15 minutes supply zone confluence. So applying this, we got 7 stocks. In all 7, these 5 minute supply zones overlapped with 15 minute supply zone. And 15 minutes trend, that is nothing but ITF trend, is downtrend in all the stocks. Let's further filter based on 15 minute supply zone with daily EMA confluence. One stock is filtered. So that way this 5 minute supply zone might be having more high probability to get success, provided lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, there are higher chances of zone violation. Okay, next let us look into LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. I am going back, removed ITF EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled. Next 5 minutes and 75 minutes. 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, these 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with 15 minute supply zones, both together again overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. And 75 minutes trend is downtrend in only one stock. Let's verify if this supply zone having daily EMA confluence. That is 75 minute supply zone with daily EMA. At the same time, trend on the 75 minutes should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. So we don't have any stocks on this filter. So this is bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. We have completed all the income trade reports. Next, I will generate finding the stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. Starting with yearly time frame, price closed inside the yearly demand zone. We got 3 stocks. Next, price closed inside the yearly supply zone. We don't have any stocks. Next time frame, half yearly. Here price closed inside a half yearly demand zone. We got 6 stocks. Next, price closed inside the half yearly supply zone. We got 3 stocks. Next time frame is quarterly. Stocks near to the quarterly demand zone. We got 2 stocks. Next, stocks near to the quarterly supply zone, no stocks. Next, price closed inside the quarterly demand zone. We got 23 stocks, first 22 stocks on the list. Scrolling the list down, total 23 stocks are filtered. Let us further filter this list based on quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA confluence. At the same time, trend on the quarterly should not be sideways. It can be up or down trend. So we got 13 stocks. Next, price closed inside the quarterly supply zone. We got 11 stocks. Let us further filter based on quarterly supply zone having quarterly EMA confluence. And trend on the quarterly should not be sideways. It can be up or down trend. We got 3 stocks. Okay, next time frame is weekly. Sorry, monthly, not weekly, monthly. And the price stocks near to the monthly demand zone, we got 8 stocks. Next, stocks near to the monthly supply zone, we got 6 stocks. Next, price closed inside the monthly demand zone. First 18 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down, total 34 stocks are filtered. Let us further filter based on monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence. And trend on the monthly should not be sideways. We got 18 stocks. Okay, next, price closed inside the monthly supply zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down, total 22 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on monthly supply zone having monthly EMA confluence. And trend on the monthly should not be sideways. We got 6 stocks. Next time frame is weekly. Stocks near to the weekly demand zone. We got 9 stocks. Next, stocks near to the weekly supply zone. We got 6 stocks. Next, price closed inside the weekly demand zone. First 16 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. Total 50 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. And also trend on the weekly should not be sideways. Now the list is reduced to first 16 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down, total 32 stocks are filtered. I will regenerate again, something wrong it seems for weekly time frame. Price closed inside the weekly demand zone. Total we got 50 stocks. Earlier we got 50. Out of 50, 32 are filtered. Okay, maybe. Okay, I'm going back. EMA confluence at weekly time frame, checking weekly demand zone, having weekly EMA confluence, and also trend on the weekly should not be sideways. So it can be up or down trend. Let's filter. So first 16 stocks in the list. all weekly demand zones having weekly EMA confluence, and current price closed inside those weekly demand zones. So these are the high probability weekly demand zones, can be used as HTF zones or ITF zones depending on your strategies. Okay, I'm scrolling the list down. So total 32 stocks are filtered. Okay, next, price closed inside the weekly supply zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. Total 40 stocks are filtered. We can further filter based on weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. And trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. We got 15 stocks. Price closed inside the weekly supply zones. Those weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA confluence. High probability trade setup weekly supply zones. But they should be used either it can be HTF zones mostly or ITF zones. Based on your strategies you will use. Okay, next time frame daily already generated in the beginning of the report. So the next time frame is 125 minutes. Stocks near to the 125 minutes demand zone, we got 14 stocks. Next, price closed inside the price closed near to the 125 minute supply zone, we got 9 stocks. Okay, next time frame 75 minutes already generated in the beginning of the report. So the next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near to the 25 minutes demand zone, we got 9 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 25 minute supply zone, we got 9 stocks. Next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near to the 15 minutes demand zone, we got 5 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 15 minute supply zone, we got 8 stocks. Next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near to the 5 minutes demand zone, we got 9 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 5 minute supply zone, we got 14 stocks. So this is about stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. In the final report, let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. And the first 17 in this list are indices, remaining all are equity stocks. So I'm scrolling the list down. Whichever the stock you want to refer, there pause the video. After that, you can proceed further. Okay, I'm scrolling the list down. So this is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you for your further study and analysis. Let us all meet again in our next video. Thank you.